Please sell me! Drain my credit card!
What follows light and shadow is silence. That silence breaks. I am summoning you to a new age. I see sapient life turn to each other. They remember how to look to the stars. They remember curiosity. They remember how to thrive. But they have forgotten. They
New
forgot
solar system?
we were here long before the Traveler. They forgot that they need us. But they are fated to remember. I will remind them. I'm sure you will. But not through me. Find someone else.
Oh. Oh. Ew.
My will is my own.
Wait. Wait a minute.
All right, everyone, hello and welcome here to
Who
Bungie
says
HQ in beautiful Bellevue, Washington. We have got an amazing stream lined up for you to tell you a little bit about the Edge of Fate and the future of Destiny 2 as well. My name's Andy. I work on the social media team here, but no need to worry. As always, I am joined by some of my amazing colleagues here at Bungie to share some of the finer details of the stuff that we're going to be getting into today.
Hi, Andy.
So, how about we go ahead and get into it so we can show you what we got. Starting first with this gentleman on my right and to your left is someone that you've probably seen if you've tuned into our streams before or Vidocs, the one and only Mr. Robbie Stevens, Assistant Game Director here at Bungie. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Andy. It's always a pleasure to spend a day with you.
Yeah, it's been a nice time, honestly, hasn't it?
Yeah,
Well,
always.
To that end as well, for anyone that doesn't get to hang out as much as we do, can you
Oh,
tell
the
everyone a
pre-order
little bit about
bonus
yourself and
was
what you do
true.
here?
Look.
Yeah, sure. So I'm one of the creative and game directors for the game. So that means like I'm a vision holder and I work across the entire Destiny team with people like Allison and Dylan on the couch here to chart a new course for Destiny and a new future for the game. And just incredibly excited to be sharing with everyone today of what we've been up to.
Yeah, can't wait. We've got a big show ahead, so thank you for being here.
Yeah, of course.
And of course, as we move, pardon
Positivity.
me, right on down the line, someone who again is
Positivity.
a good opportunity to join us on these streams as well, and is now firing some finger guns like a pro. Destiny's narrative director, the one and only Allison Lures. Allison,
Hello.
how's it going?
It's going so good. I'm here on a couch and I get to yell about Destiny with you. So
Not
it's a
bad
good day.
Yeah, honestly, I'll take that anytime I can. Well,
Same.
for anyone who also hasn't had a chance to yell on couches about Destiny with us or hasn't joined us in the past, do you mind telling us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So my name is Allison. I'm the narrative director for Destiny 2, and so that means it's the job of me and my team to make you laugh and make you cry and make you go, whoa, I totally forgot about this thing from 8 years ago. How did they remember? It's because we're good at our jobs.
It's true.
So there you
Yeah.
go.
As someone who gets to sit in on the writers' rooms, I can now doubly confirm that. So thank
we
you for
love
being
having you
here.
there.
So much
Yeah.
fun. No, seriously, thank you so much. And of course, as we move right on down the line, the gentleman there at the very end of the couch, someone who is a friend to all Guardian kind, who's known far and wide, a member of the Destiny Global Comms team here at Bungie, Mr. Dylan Gaffner. How's it going, Dylan?
It's going well. How are you, Andy?
I'm doing so well.
See,
Thank
he's
you so
fully
much.
embracing
Gotta make sure to
the
ask every day.
I
lumberjack
appreciate it. You know,
persona.
the help I can get. Well, to anyone out there
The
who may
beard's
not have
getting
accosted
there.
you on the wild world of social media or is just somehow meeting you for the first time, do you mind telling us about what you do here at Bungie?
My name is Dylan Gaffner, formerly community team, where we would go out, collect your feedback, translate it to the dev team, and then bring their information back to you, kind of be that middleman. Now I'm on Global Comms, so I'm going to be in more of like a puzzle piece organization
people in
stage.
Seattle look like
what do we
that?
talk about? When do
I've
we
never
talk
been
about
to
it? Why
Seattle,
do we
so I have
talk
no
about
idea.
it? And then just making sure we get the information out to all players.
Yeah, well, we all appreciate it. Thank you for always being the voice of the player inside our hallowed halls. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, well, now that we've kind of got the intros out of the way, let's talk about our new saga. Robbie, I'd love to start with you. What's up next in Destiny, and where are we exploring?
Yeah, so our first expansion this year, The Edge of Fate, is the start of a brand new multi-year saga called the Fate Saga. And so we want to
Multi-year?
tell a story about something older, about the nature of fate itself. Are we bound by it? Can we fight it? Because before the Traveler ever arrived in our solar system, there was already space magic here, Andy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so ultimately, this is a story that we're going to explore one of Destiny's biggest mysteries and the foundations of the universe itself.
You're talking about the 9, aren't you?
Who
Yeah.
told you?
I think it's
Subtle,
How did
I
you
know.
guess?
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
set you off.
We did such a good job with this
We
secret.
buried that lead, didn't we? Yeah.
Just a little bit.
That's, but I mean, to that end, so who and maybe more appropriately, what are the 9?
Yeah, so buckle up. In the simplest description possible, the 9 are extraordinarily powerful beings that have been in the solar system for way, 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 way longer than the Traveler. We can think of them as being kind of connected to each of the major celestial bodies in Sol. So that's each of our 8 planets plus the Sun. Sorry, Pluto.
It's messed up.
Didn't make the cut.
All right,
But
fair.
I don't make the rules. Yeah, there you go. But the important thing to know about them is that this is why we're going to be so focused on the solar system for the next saga. We want to ask questions about our home that we've never asked before.
Yeah. So when it comes to the 9, obviously, Eagle-Eyed Guardians have been able to spot references to them for quite some time, whether it be outright ominous or a straight-up game show in some cases. Can you tell us a little bit maybe about what we should expect from them?
Expect to be surprised. We're, like you said, the lore of the 9 really ranges from like Star Horse infinitely neighing to the 9 doing genuinely awful, awful things in our lore. And so the important thing to know about them is that the 9 are individuals. This isn't a collective. It's not like a hive mind. Each of them are kind of their own being, their own person in the loose definition of a person. They have different wants and desires. They can ally with different members and fight with different members too. In the words of one of our characters really early on, there are aliens, and then there's aliens, and then there are aliens, and that latter one is what the 9 are qualified as.
Fair enough. All right, so beings of obviously immense power.
Is this
something
what
that the
it's like
Guardians
to
have
read the
gone
lore?
toe-to-toe with in the past. We've even faced off against the very embodiment of the darkness itself.
Yeah.
What could be tougher than that?
Yeah, so this is something that we think about a
Yes.
lot about, because ultimately the 9 seek to free themselves at no matter the cost to humanity, and because
Dude,
they're
'cause
extra
I'm gonna
dimensional in
keep
the
a
ways
buck.
that Allison are describing. They're
This
not
feels
bound
like when I
by
forgot
the
to write
same
that
rules
speech that was due
we
the
are,
next
that
day,
we've
where you
really
have to sit and
experienced
speak
before,
to the class
in the
for
game
3
today.
minutes, and you have
so
no idea what you're
humanity and the
babbling
Guardians,
about.
to many of them, are ultimately just bugs that can be squashed on, that they don't really care or think about beyond, achieving their ultimate goals. So.
Yeah, I mean, like, for the last 10 years, Guardians have really just been making their own fate.
Yeah.
I mean, so the 9 is challenging that. How are we going to deal with it?
Yeah, whether we like it or not, the 9 have a plan for us. And like you said, Guardians are really good at making their own fate and going out and deciding who they want to be. But what happens when them deciding to make our own fate is exactly what our fate is? Like, what if that was the plan all along? These are extra-dimensional beings. That means they perceive our reality in a very different way and can interact with it in a very different way.
It's like they're a move ahead in chess.
Weird.
What a reference.
Good one, Dylan.
But you were mentioning, obviously, the Fate Saga is one of
Yeah.
the subjects of today. How long can we expect the Fate Saga to last?
Yeah, so the Fate Saga is going to play out over several years, and ultimately, we know where we're driving this car. We know where we're going with it. But the conclusion of the Edge of Fate itself is going to leave you with more questions than answers, and it's going to be the catalyst into this new multi-year saga.
like we
because we
wanna-
really want to return Destiny to be.
Can we talk about
a
the
game
content,
about
please?
Big questions, right? And so the way we think about this is about pouring jet fuel into the speculation engine of the game. So we're going to be revealing a lot of ideas, a lot of concepts, and many of them we're not going to be answering immediately, because we're going to be telling the story over multiple expansions, and we're going to be giving you those expansion beats more times than we have before in the past. And so the Year of Prophecy kicks off with the Fate Saga, and with it, humanity is now set on a collision course with this celestial pantheon of the system that has been here for a very, very long time. And so the Edge of Fate launches on July 15th,
Yeah,
and
we
then
knew
the
that.
second expansion of our Year of Prophecy is Renegades, which comes this winter, and then later in 2026 we've got Shattered Cycle and The Alchemist. It's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of exciting beats. And so again, the Edge of Fate is just the beginning of this long journey of this awesome vehicle
never
we're all
getting
jumping into and
D3.
driving
It's
together,
never
and it's going to
happening.
take us to some new places.
That's exciting. So, with regards to the Edge of Fate right here in front of us, you were also nice enough to bring the class something today. You've got some gameplay with you,
Oh
right?
yeah, we got some clips.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we should show those off.
It's a
Let's
doozy.
Let's check it
Kind of
out.
like the present. Let's check it out.
What is that emote here?
Observe, connect, conceal. Guardian, I had a vision. Conform, comply,
that?
return. They just wanted to show us disasters. Observe, connect, conceal. I'm not human anymore. Return, conform,
Yo?
comply. No one else should know what this feels like.
Dude, what was that?
Enough. Terminate your suspicion, Commander. Remove your scornful blindfold.
Oh, there's no land beyond.
Observe, connect, conceal, conform, comply, return. Observe, connect, conceal, conform, comply, connect, return.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. Like, who's the guy with the glasses?
All right, that gives us an awful lot to go ahead and continue.
All right,
to
Chad,
dive
initial
into.
rating 1 through
and
10.
Here to help us go ahead and explore a little bit more of it. Everyone, you probably noticed we've been joined by someone new here on the couch. We are privileged to be joined by someone who's the originator of perhaps my favorite all-time Destiny emote, the one and only Dave Samuel, art director here at Bungie. Dave, how's it going, man?
It's going great. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Dave.
For anyone who maybe for some reason somehow doesn't have that emote in their collection or hasn't seen you in a past Vidoc, do you mind telling us a little bit about what you do here at Bungie?
Yeah, I'm art director on Edge of Fate. I work with the art team to visualize the narrative and design and kind of bring it all together.
It's a lot to bring together. Thank you very much for being here today. So with the Edge of Fate, it's obviously the first expansion in the Fate saga. Allison, I'd love to start with you, actually. What can you tell us about the Edge of Fate?
The Edge of Fate begins with an invitation, and we are invited along with a very specific group of people to a location, to a moment in time for a very specific reason.
Very specific purpose.
Very specific reason and purpose, yes. And the place that we're going to is called Kepler. And so you may be saying, now Allison, hold on, hold your horses
You read
1
my mind.
second,
Yeah.
because the Kepler I know is the one that's way outside of our galaxy. What do you mean we're going to Kepler? And I say, like, dear friend, didn't you know if you look inside in Destiny's universe, the Oort cloud at the edge of the solar system, you'll find a little planetoid that also
like a little bit of a
happens to
Halo
be
vibe
named
to me.
Kepler here in the world of Destiny. And that's where we're going, to Kepler.
Super exciting. And this is kind of a, Robbie, we were talking kind of before the show, this is like like a first taste of something new, right?
Yeah, so what you're seeing here is us just trying something new. We're expanding the universe of Destiny, creating new mysteries to uncover. This whole destination is about exploring a labyrinthian world that it took inspirations from things like Dreaming City, exotic missions, dungeons, and it's wrapping it all through a Metroidvania expired experience. And so at the heart of all of this, at the heart of the Edge of Fate, is a player-driven exploration and discovery of an exotic world with brand new abilities.
So actually to even just maybe dig a little bit deeper, like how is the Edge of Fate going to be different from past expansions that we've made for Destiny?
Yeah, so at the global scale, when we're thinking about expansions in the Year of Prophecy and the formula of Destiny expansions going forward, first off, we're doing 2 expansions a year instead of just 1. And think of each of these
2
expansions
raids a
as
year?
a little bigger than something like a Rise of Iron from D1. And so both of these expansions combined
Am I
are going to
watching
be even more
Anthem?
expansion content than we've
Oh,
done in the
no, they
past.
made
And
Anthem
by delivering
characters.
2 of these a year, we're
Oh,
upping the
no,
pace
they
of
made
the
Anthem
major world and
characters.
story events that really matter to players.
Oh,
and
no.
pushing the Fate saga forward. And so we're trying radical new things with each of these expansions. And so alongside this new destination of Kepler, this exotic world that players will explore with brand new abilities, we also have world tiers. And world tiers allow you to take on a higher level of challenge on the destination in order to extract some of the best loot within the release. But
So is this
what's cool about
technically a
world
new
tiers
enemy
is,
race,
as you
or is
play
this
through the
like
mainline story and you play
a
through the
different
first couple of
Fallen,
world tiers, you're
it
going
looks
to
like?
unlock later world tiers. And as you're claiming these abilities, as you're exploring the world more, as you're discovering more within the release, you're putting these puzzle pieces together and you're figuring out how to solve all the mysteries on Kepler with different ways. And so you might play a puzzle in one way, a mission in one way, and when you're in these higher world tiers in the post game, you can start to solve these problems in different ways that you couldn't before in the original playthrough. And so alongside all of this, we're also going to have a ton of quest content that we're rethinking about how we use within the game. And so on Kepler, there's some non-linearity within the destination itself. And so with a lot of our side quest content that is related to the critical path, but you don't have to play it. It's there for you to explore. It's driven by your discovery of the world. You're out in the field, you discover something and you pick it up, and that's going to help you explore the characters in the world of Kepler more and go deeper on that story. And so, yeah, again, this is all about us just looking at the formulas that we've been building in Destiny over the last 10 years. And some of them are really strong, but they're due for some experimentation and some radical changes. And so that's what you're seeing here with the first taste of the Edge of Fate.
Very cool.
Yeah.
World tiers, man.
I love
Y'all
everything you
always
just said.
shit
I was a
talk
little distracted
Outriders,
by some of the
but they
gameplay we were
killed it
showing,
with
like,
that.
Exotic sniper rifle, I think I saw. Kind of recognize that.
Oh, yeah.
Some enemies with a couple really cool twists.
I think this could be really good.
Yeah.
But then also there was a Guardian that turned into like a lightning ball. Yeah.
Yeah. So, so there's multiple new abilities that your players are going to be able to discover on Kepler. That's going to make them navigate and look at the world in different ways. But the one you're talking about, Dylan, we see it as our premier ability, the crown jewel to release, and that's called Matterspark. And Dave has joined us, and he's helps us take the vision of the narrative and the design and the art and smush it together in amazing experiences. And so I think Dave should talk to us more about Matterspark.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So there's this new source of energy on Kepler, this strange dark matter. So the Guardian binds itself to the dark matter using the arc powers within. You can think of the dark matter as like a medium, and the arc as this catalyst that will
Am I rolling around like a Metroid ball?
Transforming into Matterspark lets you squeeze into tight areas, race around areas, jump over stuff.
Sonic?
And it also allows you to turn into this basically electric rolling ball of death, jolting and shocking enemies that come across your path.
So obviously, one big part movement, one big part combat, but I mean, even just in addition to that, to look a little bit, wider, like how did the Matterspark Ball kind of influence the world that we're going to be in?
This could most certainly be something with the raid.
The team really had to rethink what it means to build a destination with these abilities in mind. A simple hill becomes a ramp to get to a new space. A crack in the wall, it basically will reveal a whole new area to explore. It's also a new way to engage with enemies. Instead of taking a bunch of enemies head on, you can find a Matterspark pad, transform, turn into this electric ball of death, and then just start racing around the arena, dash over their heads.
Dude, this is so cool.
And flank from behind, and then really give the House of Exile on.
Bro, they literally were like, yeah, let's make
as well we should.
This the Metroid expansion.
Well. So what are some of the other Kepler abilities that we'll be able to unlock while we're out there as well?
Yeah, so each of these Kepler abilities are a mix of dark matter and our Guardian's powers. So we have the Relocator Cannon, which is this new fallen dark matter tech mixed with void. This is going to allow you to bypass laser walls, use these cascading relay networks, and just basically teleport around the world. Another ability that we have is Mattermorph. This is dark matter mixed with strand, allows you to manipulate the environment. You'll be able to basically push and morph and move geometry to create bridges, open up doorways, and then also reveal secrets and new opportunities.
Yeah, so what's really important about what Dave is describing, and when we were thinking about building this world, it was all about hey, here's this new tool to navigate and see the world in a different way and solve little puzzles and mysteries throughout the missions,
it's
the
not
free
a
roam,
subclass, no.
the quest content, and beyond. But also what was really important to us is that we lean into Destiny's first-class ability gameplay. And so with Matterspark, like Dave is mentioning, you're jumping, you're dashing into enemy enemies to destroy them. You're doing giant explosions with them with the relocator cannon. You're just blowing everything up with void explosions and graviton lance style like projectile, little secret projectiles. And then what's really fun about Mattermorph is you can just be like throwing these strange shurikens basically to just like delete an encounter before you then like start to morph the environment around you and move to the next area. And so it's just really exciting I'm incredibly excited about watching players just like solve puzzles and fight encounters in ways that like we don't even expect yet, and see how they take on the destination.
Yeah,
just,
this
like,
could be really
wanna,
cool for
I really
raid
want to emphasize,
stuff.
you're going to be upgrading these, and when you get into especially the post-game experience, it's going to unlock, there's something unlocks with Matterspark that really changes the way that you can play through the entire destination.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about dark matter.
Yes.
We have darkness abilities like Strand and Stasis already. Like, how is dark matter different?
Yeah, so dark matter and darkness are two completely separate things. They're completely different things. But dark matter does exist in our world. In the world of Destiny, we know it as being tightly connected to the Nine. It's what the Nine are actually made out of. In our world, dark matter is invisible. You can't really see it. And it wouldn't be very fun to make a destination where there's an invisible thing that you can't actually see. So lucky for us on Kepler, there's a bioluminescent microbe that allows us to see all of this substance that's impacted this world so much. It allows us to see how it's impacted the plant life, how it's impacted the behavior of the peoples that we're going to encounter. And we can see how it has been able to bring these things that are kind of unstuck in time into this current location.
I do have to put on my drifter hat for just a second and, like, what does it smell like? What does it taste like?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
again, this is
dark matter
the-
smells and tastes like bleach and math. Yeah.
Can we
Cannot wait to
talk
get that chip
about
flavor.
Yeah.
Get it with a sandwich today after.
It's zesty.
something
so
interesting, please?
Actually, so on the topic too of stuff in the trailer as well, we
New
heard someone talking
strikes,
there. Can you
new
tell us
raid.
who that was?
Sure.
Gambit
that
maps.
was Lodi. Lodi is a new character that we're introducing in Apollo. Not in Apollo. We're
Who does this
introducing
look
him
like?
in the
He looks
Edge
like
of
somebody.
Fate.
Who does this look like?
I want to give a special shout out to Brian Villalobos, who portrays Lodi and does a spectacular
That's not
job.
Dado,
This
bro.
character is fascinating.
That doesn't look like Glad
He's
either.
kind
Maybe
of
it looks
fish
like
out
if
of
Dado
water,
and Glad
but
had a
the fun
baby.
thing about tropes is to kind of put
Glado.
a twist on them, right? So what if that fish that we pulled out of the water
That's
was
what I'm
the
naming
most
him from now
qualified
on, dude.
fish
His name
to
is
be pulled
Glado.
out into the air?
Down for anything.
It's down for anything. And
yeah.
what if that fish was kind of made to be pulled out of the water? I don't want to give away too much because this character is way more fun for the players to figure out what his deal is. But I will say that Lodi is very, very far from home.
Very fair, very exciting. So,
I do have to call out, too, before we started this, you and Robbie were talking about how Lodi is like a notice me character.
Oh, yeah. Robbie wanted a senpai.
I
yeah.
did. Yeah, I wanted someone that I just wanted to spend a bunch
Yeah.
of time with.
Excuse me?
Yeah, a friend that we can look up to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right, yeah, notice me.
Notice
Notice
me
me.
Lodi.
Yeah, of course,
He
it
will,
writes
he will.
itself, or rather, Allison does. So, with regards to the characters as well, so is it a whole new cast of characters in the Edge of Fate?
No, we're going to see some new faces like Lodi and other characters, but we're also going to see some familiar ones too. Ikora is here. The stakes are high enough that she's here investigating what's going on. And as it turns out, in one of our major mysteries, she's kind of at the center of it. She was invited here, as was Lodi, same as we were. All of it's kind of tied together.
Very exciting. So,
Yeah, the way. Oh, if I can.
No, no,
yeah,
please.
no,
Yeah,
yeah.
please,
Like
yeah.
the way we think about this is about all these characters. Their fates are intertwined in some
Yes.
way. There's these puppet masters that have been pulling the strings for a very, very long time in order for everyone to get here at this moment. And so, as a guardian and these characters involved, they're going to have to decide if they're fight your fate. Like that's what we think about. For these individuals, that's what they're going to have to go through and determine about how they can stand up to this new conflict that is surrounded by the Nine, because they are fated to be here. And what does that mean for them, and what does that mean for their future and the future of Soul itself?
So with regard to these new characters and this world we find ourselves in, was there anything about that setting, or in particular, that really influenced the creation, rather, of this world that we're going to be inhabiting?
Yeah, I'll give you a list of fun facts. First off, if you've been paying attention to Destiny over the
Chat, if
last
the
week
stream
or so,
goes
you
offline,
already
it's 'cause we
know that
lost
there's
power.
been people on Kepler for a long
It is
time.
storming.
That's an old-ass computer that you were putting those numbers into. We also know that the Vex are here. They're studying the Nine because
We're in
it
a
turns out the
tornado
Nine
watch?
can do something that the Vex can't. As Dave mentioned, the House of Exile are also here. They've become fixated on a being that they call the Giver. And kind of most importantly, the dimensionality on Kepler is really thin. So the 3 dimensions that we can know and see and touch are very close to the realm that the
07.
9 live in. And that means some things from Earth's past have been yanked into Kepler's present.
Exciting.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, so we've been talking about invitations throughout this, and we need to call out an invitation that's actually going to be waiting in the game after this is over. Ride of the Nine begins today.
Yeah.
So I believe we have a trailer to show.
Yeah, you were nice enough to bring a trailer along. I'll go ahead and give it a look really
Yeah,
quickly.
let's do it.
Yeah.
Are we done talking about the expansion already? It's been... Increased enemy strength. Only the strongest will endure. We're definitely going to be checking this out. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm live on Twitch right now. Twitch.tv/Sweatcicle, dude.
All right, so that's Ride of the Nine, which
Yeah.
is
I farted.
our essential prologue story for the Edge of Fate. And these 3 dungeons that are featured in this event are free for all players starting today. And so what's really important about this is that these dungeons are both for veteran dungeon crawlers, hardcore raiders, people who've been in these places a lot, but also new Guardians who have never stepped into a dungeon before, right? What was really important for us when we were developing Ride of the Nine was that we were changing the formula on how we can think about how we can welcome even more people into these experiences. And so you're gonna be able to go in solo, buffed up, and explore a dungeon by yourself, or go in match made with other fire team members shoulder to shoulder for the very first time. But don't worry, because we also have that higher level challenge for our veteran, our hardcore dungeon crawlers, where you're going to be able to earn the best possible loot, exclusive rewards, and also an exclusive
I think it's a great
title,
idea. I
as
just
part
don't think there's a
Rights
lot
of
of
the
new
Nine.
players coming
What's
in
also
right
really
now.
important about this
Am I
event
wrong
for
in
being
thinking
a
that?
prologue for the Edge of Fate is that it really reintroduces the emissary into the game, and you're going to learn why her job is pretty crappy, and why she quits at the top of the Edge of Fate, like we saw at the beginning of this show. And so, Andy, we've been talking
I just hope
a
it's something
bunch
that they
about
continue
how
to do rather
our
than just
Destiny
like a
expansions
one-time
are
event.
changing the formula for Destiny going forward. So now I think it's time for us to start talking about how the core hobby of Destiny is changing going forward.
God,
The day-to-day
here we
of
go.
playing
Pray.
Destiny, week over week experience. We've got someone else on the
please.
couch here to help us talk about that.
We have an expert in that
God.
very subject now
Please
who's gone ahead
don't
and joined
throw.
us on the couch. We are now joined by the one and only Mr. Ben
Please
Womack,
don't throw.
creative director here on Destiny. Ben, how's it going, man?
Hey, I'm doing great. I'm really excited to be here. There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, seriously.
There is a lot.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
going to be
well,
a
let's
very
get talking,
good,
'cause we haven't learned a lot
conversation we have
today.
coming up.
Yes.
But before we get into that, can you tell us just a little bit about what you do here?
Yeah. So I'm the Destiny 2 creative director for the core game, or the core hobby, as we call it.
Yeah.
And it has to do with all parts of the game, everything from Edge of Fate, through our seasons, through the fundamental systems. And in particular, like Rob was saying, I've been focusing on thinking about the kind of building blocks of Destiny 2 and getting those like not only stood up but also transformed and iterated on in some really exciting new places.
Nice. Well, let's go ahead and just start at the top. Can you tell us a little bit about what like the core formula of Destiny is changing and why?
Yes, so I think we need to start with the why first, because it's important to think about what is Destiny, what is great about Destiny. And Destiny is best when you have like awesome chases that you're excited about, you have really cool, powerful builds to make, and there's a mountain to climb that's right in front of you that you want to climb. You're like, I want that mountain, it looks pretty cool. And the thing that is not always true right now in Destiny is like it doesn't feel streamlined as it could. Players don't have as much agency. We want to be player driven, we want to be more rewarding than we are. Because right now there are barriers to playing Destiny like in the best way. And those barriers are insurmountable sometimes. So think about that whole picture of, okay, what is the Destiny that we really want, that has been in the past, that we also want to get back to, and where we want to go for the future, that's where all the changes you're going to see have started, like at their inception point. So it's a big piece of the pie.
Massive updates coming across so many systems of the game, and this is like we're just
Okay,
getting,
so what's
digging into the
changing,
surface.
bro?
I mean, to that same end, then, how,
Oh my God,
how
I'm
are we
getting tilted.
making it easier, pardon me, to go ahead and just get straight into the fun?
Oh no, let's do it, because that's exactly what we want to do.
Yeah,
And
things
the
are
first
going to
thing you're
change. We're going to have
see
these
when
big
you log into
changes,
Destiny
big
is
system
Fate.
change.
You're going to log in your character and see your ship in orbit. It's going to say, it's not going to say open director, it's going to say open portal. And the portal is our new front page of the game. We're trying to get you to the fun as fast as possible, and as few clicks as we can. We even have Edge of Fate there in the corner, so that it's right immediately there. No fumbling around with the map to get to it, really. And we're also taking other big parts of the game, the ritual game and for seasons, and putting them into these ops categories. So the idea is that we're having these different ops for different moods. We're having solo ops. We have a bunch of fire team ops. We have pinnacle ops, and of course we have crucible ops. Still super important for the game.
Yeah. I mean, to start up at the top, can you tell us a little bit more about what solo ops
Oh, yeah.
entails?
So solo ops is exactly what it says on the tin. It is a bunch of activities that are made for solo players. And the conception point of that was we want to make activities for players who have a smaller amount of time that they want to play in, and they don't necessarily want to have dependencies on other players, but they still want to get in there and play for 10 to 15 minutes and get some real progress.
Yeah, get some loot.
Yeah, get some loot.
Yeah.
Get some loot and get your character forward and feel like, yeah, no, I played some Destiny and that was great.
Why?
And even if you don't feel like playing with other people, that's fine, because we have an activity type that is designed for one player.
Excellent. So, I mean, to that same end, what are some other ways that we can play and have fun using Portal as well?
Again,
Yeah, so
dude,
Robbie
they
actually has a
keep.
great way
I
of
say
talking
this
about
every
this.
year.
Yeah, some
They,
of the North
they
Star
have this
that
weird
we talked about
fetish
when
for
we were
changing the
developing
UI
Portal early
every
on was
6 months to
where
a
we
year.
headed with this thing, and ultimately it's play your way.
You
It's
can
giving
never
players
get
more
settled with
agency,
the
more
UI
personal
and,
drive to figure out how they want to engage
fully
with the power
understand
climb,
it
the new
before they're
progression
like,
systems coming
yep, new
in our
one.
seasons. And so the entirety new progression and power climb is now all available to you in the portal at your fingertips in one place. It's really easy to find, really easy to jump in. Anything you play inside of that category any of those categories.
Chat, genuine question for those of you who are who don't play Destiny
we want
a lot.
Destiny to be welcoming.
Have you guys
not
ever
only to
actually
new players, but
been
also
super
old players
confused
who
by
are
the
coming back
UI?
to the game to join us with the Edge of Fate.
Because I feel like it's so
and we also want this
easily
to be like a new
Googleable.
even playing field for everyone.
And I've never
so
heard anybody complain
as
about
part
the
of
UI
this
really.
is a commitment
There have been a
from
couple
us as part of
times
the
where
core hobby and all the seasonal
things have
content we're
been
building,
like,
that we're going to
it looks shitty, but like it still
this, right?
works.
We're going to be continually updating this over time for years to come. And so, you're asking me directly, like, what else is there to do?
Yeah.
Ben mentioned solo ops. We also have the fire
I
team
just feel
ops
like
and
it's a
pinnacle
waste
ops.
of
Both these are
effort
more
and
around playing with
resources,
other fire
personally.
team members, shoulder to shoulder, where fire team ops are more quicker sessions. There are some longer form things in it too, but then pinnacle ops are more about those really long form or more challenging kind of focused
So
activities.
they're just going to throw you in like
activities
random
exotic
activities
missions,
now?
for instance. And so
This is so confusing.
And then the one thing we haven't talked about yet, very deeply, but is incredibly important, and it's something that I think we've done for the first time, like ever, or maybe since early D1.
It's kind of a return to form. in a lot of ways,
You're going to be able to experience the entirety of the power climb within Crucible Ops by playing PvP, right? So this
Okay.
means like, if you want to be sweaty, Andy, which like I know
I
you,
do.
Dylan too. I know you're that way, right? Like I know both of y'all. Like if you want to put the sweatbands on, you're going to be able to play the entire experience in the season here and earn some of the highest tier loot that's also available in the game.
I have to say, this is like super exciting because like my player type or other folks out in the community, like they want to go in, they want to jam on PvP, but then their friends invite them to do a dungeon or a higher tier activity, and they're like, oh wait, I need to grind a long time to get up to power. Now through PvP, they can get up to power, and you can just bring them into that PvE experience and have a fun time with each other.
Yeah.
So.
That's honestly how I primarily played D1, so I'm really looking forward to that. So it sounds like the core, obviously, of what you guys are talking about, play the way you want to play, is right at the center of all of it. What if I really want to challenge myself, push myself?
Oh yeah,
a little bit more?
That's important to us.
Yeah. So
That's important to us.
Well, death, but also success.
Yes,
and
that's true.
from it,
That's
right?
true. Yeah.
Yeah, and so we really want to give agency. That's that's one of the things. Player driven towards loot and challenge. And so we have a really hugely expanded activity customization system. We have a lot more difficulty levels, and we have a ton of new modifiers. We have 50 new modifiers
Ultimate?
on all the old modifiers.
Okay.
That we've released in the past. That are going
There's
to
a W change.
curated web of options for you to experience.
new
Any
difficulty.
of the PvE content in the curator. And so, like, we have Banes, not just old Banes that we have, but new Banes as well. We also have boons to help you, like, get advantages in your activities and for your build. We have challenges and trade-offs. And the fun part is you're going to get these different combinations that are available.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a placeholder or we're actually getting a power reset for
pretty
once.
interesting. Sometimes the way you prefer you play. Like there's a new boon called Grappler that I personally love. It's kind of my preferred way to play, where they give you 3 grapple grenades, replacing your current grenade. You can't do the melee, but they recharge super fast. So any build you want, you could now Spider-Man around any map. It's actually super fun.
It's so fun. Yeah, and I mean, like, what's at the heart of what Ben is talking about is what we kind of call the virtuous cycle, right? Where you're going to be crafting your build, tinkering with the activity, looking at like how you can earn a higher tier of reward by taking on a higher challenge. And as you earn better loot, you're looking towards that next mountain to climb just ahead of you all the time. And so this is really about how far you want to push yourself upwards within the portal itself. But also, we also are thinking about the people, and that's the depth, right? That's the depth of the challenge that we're talking about. That's also, but we're also thinking about the people who don't have as much time to play with like solo ops, and also if you're scared of modifiers or you're scared of customizing these activities.
Or you just don't feel like
doing it. Yeah, no, that's a great way to describe it. Thank you. We have a bunch of quick play options, right, Ben?
Yeah, quick play
The
options.
UI
We actually
looks
have
like
matchmaking
Netflix.
Fire team ops. And we have Fire Team Finder. And so you're able to like really choose kind of what you're in the mood for.
Oh yeah, we technically have matchmaking across every activity that exists.
Except for solo ops, because that's solo.
Right,
But
yes.
otherwise,
but in the Fire
aside
Teams
from
or
that
Pinnacle
one.
Ops, it's everything.
Yeah, you'll have options to play by yourself or with other people.
Yes, we heard
Oh,
that
actually,
the first
really fun
40
part is you
times.
can play
What
Strike
else
by
are we
yourself
doing?
As hard as you want it to
That's
now.
true, yeah,
which is
yeah.
really fun.
I'm getting angry. I'm
You're
sorry.
talking about like all the different
Bro,
boons
we
and
know you can
combinations. I
fucking
think
play
at
solo,
one point
man.
you were saying around
We
50
get it.
or something like that.
We understand.
Those
New
apply.
ones.
50 new ones. So it's like you can take those into solo ops. Like we're talking about this being kind of leisurely, bite-sized activity, but if you want to take it and say, I don't want Weenie Hut Jr., I want like esoteric level solo hardest thing in the world.
Shout out
like,
Esso.
You can kind of customize and do that.
You can just do it from the very start if you really want to.
Yeah.
And
Depends on how deep you want to go.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, and the point is that you're going to like stretch that far, and we want the reward to feel like worthwhile.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to feel like as you're pushing yourself, you are rewarded for it. That is something that's really important to the vision here for the portal. Yeah.
Rewards, huh?
Rewards. There are a lot of rewards, aren't there?
Again, the
Funny you
problem
mentioned
with
it.
meaningful
Yeah,
rewards
veins,
is we already
moves,
have so
modifiers,
much
but,
broken
let's
stuff.
talk about gear for a little bit here.
Yeah.
What's changing about loot and why should Guardians care?
Yeah, so like talking about chases and mountains and builds.
Do
and
a
gears at the
full
center of all
sunset.
of that. And
Full
we actually
sunset.
have
Do
two
it.
giant gear
Do it.
changes. I'm gonna like put in 2 little buckets for us to talk about.
Yep.
The first one
Please.
is Armor 3.0. And the next one is gear tiers. And so like talking about Armor 3.0 first, we are probably making the biggest change ever since Shadowkeep.
It's
around
huge.
the system. It's
Yeah,
enormous.
a huge change.
Yeah, so like we're adding set bonuses, which is a long requested feature
They
for
renamed
all
it
the
to
new
health?
armor that you're going to be able to get at Edge of Fate launch, and we're redoing all the stats on
Okay.
armor. Where they can now like exceed 100.
Go beyond 100.
Go beyond 100 for extra bonuses.
Yep.
We're going to every single piece of new legendary armor that drops is going to have all the energy filled in, so you can build crafting right away, and it's going to essentially like. There's more features actually that I could talk
Holy
about, but I don't
Okay.
think I'm going to.
This is a good change.
Something that we can't
but
talk about too. You mentioned gear tiers.
What
as
happens to
well.
my old armor?
Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so gear tiers are very exciting because every single legendary weapon and armor that you can get is going to have 5 gear tiers, starting from 1 going up to 5. And like we have a 5
11 energy, by the
tier
way.
5 piece of legs armor on the screen right now, and you can see that like this is like looks really cool with iconography, but it also has a ton more stats. And oh look, what's that?
Yeah, what's going on with the energy there?
Yeah, the energy.
Ben?
Yeah, that energy says 11, and
that's
it's true.
11. Yep.
It's not a typo. Like energy is
Thank
going
God.
to 11 for higher tier armor. And so if you want that for your build crafting opportunities, it does like give you some new options you never had before. You're going to have to challenge yourself to get more higher tier armor and keep on going to get yet more higher tier armor to get those options.
Yeah. And this is also not something that's just relegated to armor, right? When it comes to weapons, they're obviously getting their own refresh as well.
Yes.
What's Destiny without chasing some?
You read
hot
my mind.
weapons?
Yeah, like weapons
seriously.
are part of the player identity. You know, some people like have a gun that they love.
You
and
got fashion, and then you have gunplay.
that's
right?
true, though we do have fashion for your guns a bit.
Hey.
Well, so 'cause
Hey, I don't give a
once
shit
you reach
about
tier 5
Eververse.
for your legendary drops, you're going to be getting tier 5 weapons, and those have unique shader treatment. It's like essentially a completely different look that's going to immediately identify it to you and others that this is the highest tier gear of this drop that you can get. It's going to show on the weapon. It's going to
Okay.
show on the icon. It's even going to show when you kill enemies with that weapon, because there's unique kill effects for tier 5 weapons that you can turn on or off if you don't want it, but your gameplay will like show that no, yeah, the weapon that is being used is like the highest tier you can get.
Yeah, Giver's Blessing, which I think we have on screen right now. This is one of the Kepler auto rifles, and I cannot put this thing down.
So good.
Yeah, when we're playing through the Edge of Fate right now, and it's
All
what's really
right.
exciting about it for me is that like when you see that tier 5 drop, like you know immediately that's better than like a tier 3 or tier 4 weapon that you have, right? And I think that's
Okay.
when we talk about making Destiny easier to just jump in, find the fun, make it accessible, but also create more depth.
Yeah.
You know, this is what we're thinking about. It's like how can we just make immediate, like you understand, like okay, this is probably better than the thing I have right now, depending on what gear tier it is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good example of how much time and effort is being put into these game systems to make them more like approachable. Change can be scary. There's a lot of change that's about to come to the game. We're Armor
Yep.
3.0. We have so many new boons. We have a bunch of new stuff. And after 10 years of Destiny, this is going to flip some stuff on its head. So, I mean, we're going to have a bunch of blog content. We're going to have interviews with Robbie, with Ben, with
Yeah.
more folks across the
We
team
do
that
need
have been
some
working
more
on this. And then
info.
we'll also be elevating our creator community when they're creating guides, all that kind of stuff. It's going to be a fun time. But ultimately, a big shout out and thank you to all the folks that have been coming into our studio, giving feedback early on some of these systems so they can be more approachable. And we're looking forward to all the feedback that's going to be coming after launch too. Like this is again one of our first steps into something, and then the community and we are going to build something amazing.
Yeah, and I can't stress enough how much feedback we've gotten from the community summits we've been running over the last year for the Edge of Fate.
I think a
and
lot
just
of this
people
stuff
reaching out
could
to
be
the community
good, but
teams and
again,
all this
without
stuff, like, your
sunsetting,
feedback
it's
is
like,
invaluable. So like seriously, like thank
am
you
I
so
really
much.
gonna need that new
We're
weapon?
making this game together. Ultimately.
That is the
Yeah,
only
it's
potential
incredibly
big downside that
important
I
part of the
see
process. Like I don't think we
to
would be able
things
to
like
make what we
set
do without it.
bonuses and new shiny
With the community's
weapons.
obviously a core part. Dylan, huge thanks to you and your team, obviously, for helping.
I
lead that
honestly
charge.
think, like, if
in
I'm
advance
just-
for the big blogs you get to write, and then
Oh.
also our social media team.
If I'm coming
Go
up
ahead
with,
and
like,
get
a
out the door,
quick
so go ahead and
solution,
follow
I
us
think
across
Ben,
the board.
Sunset
you were saying
anything
you
that's
wanted to try to
pre-final
break the
shit.
record for longest TWID.
I know a
I'm
lot
more
of people are not
predicting
going to
we
like
are.
that,
Yeah.
but if you really
We'll
want
have a
Destiny
try.
to feel
It's the
new
state
and
of
fresh,
things.
It's
that
going
would
to
be
be a
one way to
multi-month
do
journey
it.
as we head towards launch. So.
Yeah, be a good time. But we've been talking a lot about the core Destiny hobby. How does that extend into like how players are going to experience like a full year of Destiny?
Yeah, so we've been focusing on improving and changing the formula of Destiny in multiple ways. And so progressing through the Fate Saga is going to be more meaningful with 2 expansions a year. We've been talking about how focusing our seasons and on the core hobby of Destiny and that commitment
Oh, it
to
says
continually
December
updating
2nd.
it.
Did they
And
just
in
leak it?
addition, we're going to have 2 free
All they
major
said was winter
updates
before.
between each of our major expansions coming in the year of
September
Prophecy
9th,
and beyond. And so
March 3rd.
ultimately that means there's 4 big beats happening in a year, 2 expansions,
stories, new
2
locations,
free
new
major
mission, new weapons,
updates
new gear,
between
new
those
raid.
expansions. So what that means we're not doing is paid seasonal content anymore. We're
there's
not
no
doing
new
separate
raid with the
seasonal
next
storylines.
expansion?
And this also means we're not building a bunch of activity content that basically just goes away and is less meaningful to the game.
Oh, no, I'm reading
after
the bottom
3
line.
months. So
My bad.
we're instead focusing all of that effort that used to go there instead
New
into
dungeon.
building up the core hobby of the game, so the core hobby stays fresh.
So we're getting a raid and dungeon
exciting, year round
with the
And so,
expansion.
ultimately, this means no more paywalls for seasonal content, and also these major updates
need to
themselves
see
that
that
I'm
screen again. There's too much to
signposting
read.
around right now. The size of them roughly and the inspiration for them we're thinking about is like Into the Light.
Okay.
So when you say like into the light, for folks that aren't out there, like what for a major update, how big is that? Like how do you encapsulate
Yeah,
that?
so when I say Into the Light, a lot of this is like the inspiration of what
Yeah,
it
I was just
with,
reading it
With
wrong.
Into Light came a really cool theme that wrapped around all the new stuff we were building within it, but also a lot of the reprise stuff as well. And also, with it came Onslaught, a new type of activity.
starting to think they
It
might
came with
pull out
reprised
Wrath out
exotic
of their
missions, and a
emergency
rethinking of
pocket
how we
next
could
year.
do like a rad style event,
Like
raid
next
event,
spring.
with the Pantheon.
That's-
and so
that's
for
my
our first major update
guess.
coming a few weeks after the Edge of Fate launches, we've got Ash and Iron. Right? And so with Ash and Iron, we're going to be returning to the Plaugelands.
Returning to the Plaugelands. Can't wait.
It's going to happen.
You guys just said I was
that story
coping.
is gonna pick up
You
from
just
where we left
fucking
off
said I was
from Edge of
coping and we're
Fate.
going to the
And with it, we're
Plaugelands.
gonna have a new
Literally
activity called
sucked
The
me
Flame,
off,
a brand
sucked
new
me
exotic
dry,
mission,
dude.
New
I
types of
told
pinnacle
you.
ops,
I
entering that
told
for the first
you.
time, as well as, of course, what's Destiny without loot to chase? We've got new gear. New
They said they
rewards,
weren't
and,
going to bring it
2
back, and it's
exotic
always
weapons
break
as
in
part
case of
Ash and Iron
emergency.
as
That's
well.
how it
And
always
again,
goes.
This major update and the season, all the seasonal content going forward is free for all players. All the activity content that exists in the portal, that's free to play.
Very nice. So even to actually go
That
one player
needs-
to
that's
deep
clipped.
on seasons
We're
as
putting that
well.
on Twitter.
What are some of the cool things that we're going to be able to do with the season that's launching alongside the Edge of Fate?
Yeah, Ben has been working on this space with the team for a while now, so I'm going to kick this one to him. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're trying to
Sweat's
make
parlay just
any
hit.
time
It did,
the
and we
best
hit a
time
max win,
of
bro.
Destiny. And one of the ways we want to do that is we want to invest in events that are like accelerating the game and enhancing every part of the game, but also bringing new cool stuff. And actually, we've been working on this so long, we actually have some new cool stuff coming before the Edge of Fate.
It's a special little treat.
Yeah, special little treat. So
What does that
this
mean?
Friday, you can play a little event, maybe you've heard of it, called Heavy Metal, which is Tanks vs. Briggs, a new PvP mode. It's super fun. I would kind of wish I was playing it right now, I'm not gonna lie. But the thing that people at home don't know is we have a new reward. That's a unique thing in Destiny if you invest in this event, if you go and play it. And it is a free-to-play event. So this reward is free to play. It is a new combat vehicle that goes in your Sparrow sled, combat Sparrow, if you will, called the Griffin. And this is a really cool, like, combat-ready vehicle you can take anywhere you can summon a Sparrow, you can summon it and use it to fight your enemies and just have a really good time. And there's some really cool build crafting things with this vehicle that I don't want to spoil right now, let people discover, but I'm super excited for it.
They all thought they were going to ride those skimmers forever.
Well, I mean, we've been saying, like, what was it? Skimmer is Flash and the Griffin is Splash.
Hey, there we go. The dad joke quota has been met.
Yeah,
we
does
gotta
it
get
shoot?
one in.
Did I hear that correctly?
But that's not all, right? Man, like, you've got more for us, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Or-
So, like I just said, there's more events that
Yeah.
we've been making. There's one that's going to happen right
Interesting.
after the launch of
Well,
Edge
it looks
of
like
Fate.
I might
It's
actually
called
have to
Arms Week,
play it then.
And it's a 1 week long event, and you're going to be focusing on one weapon archetype in Arms Week whenever it comes around. And this one is going to give you a new legendary weapon of that type. It's going to have some volatile mods that
Did he just
that are for the
leak?
week that are going to be super interesting and fun to play with, and some focusing you can do.
I wasn't sure if that was a slip-up or a
There is a
leak.
problem when you say this event is going to be about weapons and about using them.
Yeah, you got to have a place to test all that out.
Right, and
Yeah,
so I mean, I've been doing that in EDZ this whole time. I don't know about the rest of you,
Those poor dregs.
right?
Yeah.
But there is a new way now. We have a new feature, a long requested feature that is being added to the game with Arms Week. It is the shooting range. And the shooting range is being
Holy
added to
shit.
the tower. It is a now permanent addition to the game with the launch
Oh
of Arms
my
Week. We're not
God,
taking it
they
away.
used brain
And you can go
cells.
there and you can try out everything in your kit, everything about your
Oh
build
my God.
with all
It
sorts of
only
simulations
took
of different
5
kinds
years.
of enemies and situations, and it's all real damage numbers. It's like
It's even got a scoreboard
it's even got a
for
scoreboard
you
right there.
and your fire team.
Yeah,
Oh
your
my
whole
God.
range, you can go
Oh
down to the
my
shooting range
God.
and
Oh
try
my
and
God.
see exactly how well you're going to do for some kind of boss at this range or
I was
with
gonna
a
say, yeah,
strategy.
who can do most of the damage, right?
Yeah, well, you're finally going to know. That
So we have a rally flag. It's not just a shooting range. Like, you can go beyond the firing line and use your abilities too.
Yeah, you totally can. And like, if you wanted to, you could even take in prismatic and pop
I'm
transcendence. and
actually
try that
mind
out.
blown right now
And,
that they
you know,
finally did it.
Well, I think the reason why we're not seeing that right now is because it's a tight.
Okay, we got to work on this
soldier.
aim
Yeah,
here,
yeah, they-
Buster.
Standing on that firing line.
It's staying on
Jesus.
firing line.
All about building that line and standing.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
A lot of theory crafters are going to
Yeah,
have to
maybe
go
you
ahead
should get
and
on the
just upload this to their
Kovacs.
Google Docs, I'm guessing. But
This will be a really good tool.
my
Like, as
God.
we're adding all of these different systems with gear tiering and all of that, you can go in and check those damage numbers in real time. Like, how do my stats change? How are these different gear bonuses
Good.
going to affect
Good.
the gameplay?
Thank
You can see it
you.
in the tower now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
and while we're
Thank
talking about
you.
weapons,
Oh yeah,
got
well
one more thing, right?
Yeah, no, there's one more thing. I know
Yeah.
you're excited. So there's more events. Of course, there's more events, and the holiday events are coming up. Where Solstice is right around the corner.
It's
as well.
summertime, right?
It's
Yes.
summertime. Summertime is Solstice time in Destiny 2, and Solstice has some really cool twists and such that we're planning. But I'm not going to talk about that right now. I want to show you all the new hollow foil treatment we have for Solstice weapons. So here we go.
Mm-hmm.
This is the hollow foil treatment for
That's kinda
Solstice
cool.
in 2025. It is
so good.
it's amazing every time I look at it.
Yeah.
It is an ocean and
a gun.
the
I wish it
line-
was like the whole weapon,
we put
but
the
it's still
ocean on
cool.
a gun. How did we do that? It's beautiful.
Also,
I love
heel
it.
clip,
And,
yo.
and any kind
Low
of
key.
weapon that drops for this event can
Heel
have
clip
hollow foil
SMG?
with
Yeah,
the
tier 1 or tier
Yeah,
3. Yeah, any
exactly.
weapon can have the hollow foil.
Yeah,
when playing through
the like the tier 5 hollow foil.
Ooh.
You know.
Looks like I might
that's
actually have to
mid-chase.
play Solstice,
Our
huh?
other events will also have hollow foils.
Yeah, like Arms Week you're talking
Arms Week
about.
will have its own hollow
Okay.
foil treatment. Like we're every event, a major event we have will have a hollow foil treatment. The holidays will have their own kind of special one, but yeah, Arms Week will have their hollow foil drops that you can farm as well.
super exciting. No, it's going to be a good time. I'm going to have way too much stuff to chase down, so appreciate you guys putting all the hard work in, obviously, for that. But I believe we've got one more thing.
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking a lot about here are the free updates coming to Destiny, the
Okay.
portal, a bunch of different stuff, Edge of Fate, but we
Yep.
also have another expansion, and we need Allison back on the couch to talk about
Right,
it.
yeah, Allison.
She's the best one to talk
Yeah,
about.
There we go.
we've got.
Show me
something
the
very
raid,
exciting. So once
Andy.
again,
Show me the
Allison, take
raid.
time to join us today. We appreciate it.
Of course. I'm so excited to be the one more thing.
Yeah, it's a tradition around here, so we're glad that you could obviously go ahead and lead us into this one. But as Dylan mentioned, we've talked about the Edge of Fate, but this is the first year we're going to be doing 2 expansions over the course of a year. can you tell us a little bit about Renegades?
Yeah, so we're going to have a dedicated reveal for Renegades in September alongside our major update, Ash and Iron. But earlier we were
September,
talking
really?
about how sometimes our formulas can constrain us from experimenting and innovating. And so in that spirit, Renegades is going to be very different from the Edge of Fate. What I can tell you,
What
and
does that
we'll
mean?
talk plenty about it later, is that we're going to be experimenting and innovating with activities, with social mechanics, and more. But more importantly, I want to talk about our inspiration. And so I have to kind of tee it up first. So Renegades is going to be a Destiny, like definitively Destiny expansion. This is part of the Fate saga, and it's going to push it forward in important ways and introduce characters that we're going to spend time with for years to come. It is an essential Fate saga story. And it's an homage to a universe that has inspired Bungie from the start. It's a universe that all of us here on the couch grew up with, as well as everyone else at the studio,
here we
and millions
go.
of you back at home too.
Here we go,
It is
man.
a peanut butter and combination, a peanut butter and like chocolate combination inside of what we're making that could only be possible in the kind of world that we build here. And so I am absolutely thrilled to be able to give our first sneak peek at Destiny 2 Renegades.
Let's take a look.
Not actual gameplay. Oh, dude. You've got to be kidding me.
Okay, Robbie, what did we just see?
Yeah, so that's Renegades, which is coming out this December. And to really drive it home here, Renegades is a one-of-a-kind Destiny experience, right? And just like we on the Destiny team have taken inspiration from other genres like dark fantasy or cosmic horror, Renegades takes the space western vibe and aesthetic that is Star Wars, and it puts it through that Destiny lens. And ultimately, it's created a new lawless frontier that is emerging within Seoul. And so, like, we're so excited to show Renegades off a little bit today and to be talking about it more in the future in September alongside the free major update with Ash and Iron. But right now, today, we're focused on Rite of the Nine and what's right around the corner with the Edge of Fate.
Absolutely. No, I heard a lot of calendars get marked just now on September, but
Hopefully.
no, super excited to share more of that in the future. But that actually leads us to the conclusion of today's show, which again, we covered a lot.
There's been a lot today.
Yeah, this has been a big show.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Hey, Andy,
we went
how
through a lot
much
of this.
is
Let's
the
go ahead and quickly
expansion?
Double check. We obviously went through, and the Year of Prophecy, pardon me, is going to go ahead and kick off on July 15th. And this kicks off a brand new multi-year Fate saga and our new focus on the core hobby of Destiny. The first expansion, The Edge of Fate, is going to be launching again on July 15th, as I noted, with its raid launching on July 19th.
Okay, hold up.
Yeah.
So
It
you're going
literally
through a lot
says
of
the
information.
date.
We already covered that.
Oh, yeah.
But like, you can't
Unless
just
it's
sneak in
changing.
a raid date. We have a new raid coming
Yeah.
with the expansion, July 19th. We're going to have a bunch of blogs. We're going to have the
the
rules,
19th?
regulations, all that kind of stuff for our raid race.
Of course.
We invite everybody to come in, try to go for that world first title. And yeah, I mean, just stay tuned for more details. We're not going to spoil anything. It's a raid. We got to keep it secret.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
yeah, everybody mark your calendars.
Yeah. Bungie.net is the place to go ahead and learn more. And again,
Saturday.
follow our social media channels. Do us all a favor.
Saturday.
So in addition to that, again, as we noted, Ash and
Thought
Iron,
they
our
didn't
first
work
free major
weekends.
update, will be launching on September 9th. Renegades, very exciting, will be launching in December. And then keep an eye again on our social channels. We'll provide all the updates once they're available. But as far as today goes, the Edge of Fate and the entire Year of Prophecy pre-orders are available starting right now. Now, pre-ordering for starters, the Ultimate Edition will go ahead and unlock the New Land Beyond.
New land
New
beyond
Land.
that exotic
Stop.
sniper.
Super
Ooh, I
exciting.
can't wait, man.
I can't wait, same, honestly. That'll be unlockable in addition to several other goodies. And also, we've
How
also got a
much?
collector's edition that'll be available. You can see here on screen it will be coming with an awful lot of very cool stuff, including this cool statue that you may have noticed here that's been sitting with us on stage.
What a weird time
this
to
is one that you
pause.
can go ahead and add to your collection as well, but that's not all that's in there. Is there, Allison?
We got the writing team got a little excited on this one. We put a lot of lore goodies into this collector's edition. So like that weird metal thing, that weird envelope, boy, weird. Wonder what's up with that.
Just decorative
You
points?
should probably read it. Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna do a dramatic reading as soon as
Yeah,
we're
we
done.
should go downstairs immediately after.
Really
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
right
okay.
after this.
Count me in. And then again, too, as far as today goes, Rite of the Nine. This is the essential prologue to the Edge of Fate, and like all of our events moving forward, is going to be a free to all players. So make sure and go ahead and check that out when that arrives. And before the show wraps up, make sure and stick around for a little bit longer. We're going to be rating our good friend Sammy Cat as well. So go ahead and give her a follow. Tell her we said hello in chat. Pardon me. If you have any Twitch Prime subs or anything like that, go ahead and do us a favor. Drop it over there and check out her stream. She's going to be having a good time. But that concludes it for us here today. So for starters, huge thanks to my teammates here for joining me.
Thank you, Andy.
Thanks for having
They
us.
didn't say how
Robbie,
much
Allison,
the
Dylan,
thing is.
of course. There we go. We got Ben and, of course, Mr. Dave Samuel. Thank you all so much for being here today. And
All right,
then,
chat,
of course,
rated
the
out of
crew
10.
that puts all this on.
I mean, it
this
got
doesn't happen
better.
by
They have a
accident.
lot of
Thank
good
you all
changes,
so
but I
much for
still
all of your
think
hard
sun
work
setting
and,
is
dealing
gonna cause
with me
issues
on these last couple
if
of
they
days.
don't.
And of course,
give
to
it like
everyone
an 8.
at home, to all of our guardians
The
out
first
there in
part of it was
community,
garbage.
thank you.
Like,
It's a
we were
tremendous
just babbling
privilege to get
about
the
lore
opportunity to share what
forever,
we've been
and it
working
was
on early.
not that I hate
And
lore.
It matters only if you guys show
Shut
up and
up.
join us. So we really appreciate it. We hope you enjoy.
But it was like they
And
weren't
otherwise,
actually
in the
talking
meantime,
about what's
until we
new.
see you again, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we'll see you all Starside.
I'm excited for some of the changes, but I'm not 100% confident that there'll be enough to be, like, keeping players. But I love that they're trying new things, so I'm all for that, and I respect it. It is a very risky play, because if it doesn't pan out for them, it could literally sink Destiny 2. So, I think overall it was a W. And I haven't said that in a while. The last couple I have not been optimistic on.